Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Warning: this video contains images of artwork created by H.R. Giger. These images are known to make some people uncomfortable. Proceed at your own risk.
Warning: this video contains spoilers for most of the movies in the Alien franchise. Watch at your own risk and beware of face huggers. Warning.
Hello and welcome to this part 2 of my exploration into the Alien movie. I can't remember if I said it in the first part or not, but this is kind of like Dune. This is one of my childhood memories. It's one of those things that I kind of it's just kind of part of growing up and part of being me. It's one of those things we carry with us from childhood. This is a movie that I really enjoy, or a franchise I really enjoy, except for the two Abominations. We talked about those in the last movie a little bit. In this part, I actually want to try to get into the movie. First and foremost, one of the reasons for the popularity of this movie is everybody, all the humans in the movie, Brett, Parker, Ripley, Lambert, Dallas, and even to a certain degree Ash, are all working stiffs. They're people we can relate to. People that aren't billionaires and millionaires or trillionaires or whatever. Which makes it more palatable for people that aren't. People that are your everyday workers, your blue collar workers. And that's the reason why Aliens, the second movie, did so well, is because it's about a bunch of grunts, a bunch of Marines, a bunch of people just trying to make it through their enlistment so they can go to college or what have you. Alien 3, bunch of convicts. Alien 4, the comedy, Alien Resurrection, or Alien the comedy, you can tell by its box office that is when we started our downhill slide. And I think a lot of it was we had over-toxified on the Alien franchise at that point. We got 2 movies in 1 decade. The first one was 79, the second one was 86, and I believe 3 was 92. Then in the late 90s, I can't remember exactly when, we got our Alien Resurrection. And I think if they would have taken the time and waited a couple more years and thought things out, it would have been probably a little bit better. Then time went on and we got Prometheus, then Covenant. Those did not do as well. Even Alien Resurrection did better than them. simply because those movies were about scientists and billionaires and trillionaires and super intellectual people. So at its heart, the Ripley quadrilogy is a working man series. You know, basically 4 movies about the working grunt, the working man, the grunts, the everyday laborers. So, and it does it explores a lot of things. They're basically intergalactic truckers. They're bringing a bunch of ore, a bunch of resources and stuff that we've used up on Earth through our own gluttony, and they're bringing these things back. It explores. I've got something I can't get off my. I think it's cat hair, but we explore the plight of the working man. These people are just working stiffs. They're just trying to get, the paycheck. They're living basically paycheck to paycheck. In the novelization, there's Alan Dean Foster did a novelization. There's a kind of a thing between Lambert and Ripley in novelization, but in this particular time frame, that amongst this working class, that recreational sex is, it's just a thing. If you're single and, it's not any more frowned upon than, going with a bunch of friends and playing basketball. And this is where we first get the idea there might not be something up with Ash, because they make a point to discuss that neither one of them have been approached by Ash for sex. And that's another thing it explores. Both the movie is more subtle because, remember, this is 1979. The general consensus of the government was that the American people couldn't handle these type of things. They were wrong, but that was the consensus. This is what they believed. They believed the people couldn't handle these things. So they also explore rape, forced birth, but they do it in such a way that it's very, very much a long-term thing that it's a seed. It plants the seed. When Jonathan Hurt's character Kane, I forgot when I was listing characters. I forgot Kane earlier. Gets the facehugger. The facehugger forces a phallus impregnation tube into him and deposits what will develop into the chest burster. The concept of forced. He was raped by this alien. This thing raped him, and he was forced to give birth, which is kind of relevant now that the Supreme Court did their whole thing with Dobbs and Roe v. Wade. But basically he was forced to give birth. Regardless of the outcome, regardless of the danger to him, he was forced. The face hugger, which wrapped itself around his face, when it falls off, it's done doing what it needs to do, so it dies and falls off. And when Ash, the science officer, is dissecting it, it has a very vaginal look to it. Very, very much the shape, the look, the wetness to it has an extremely vaginal look to it, which is another very symbolic thing. Kane dies when the chest burster blows out of his chest and takes off. And that's, you know, that is part of what it's about. Our alien, as it extremely rapidly grows from chest burster to basically drone warrior, depending on what you read and what you see and what videos you watch or how you interpret it yourself. Basically, he goes around killing people to propagate. He's not actually, we find out in the director's cut that he wasn't actually killing people. That in a novelization. He's not, the alien, the xenomorph, is not killing them. He's taking them, using them to propagate his species. And in the director's cut, we find Ripley trying to get to the escape pod, and she finds Dallas, Captain Dallas, who's basically being held against his will. You know, forced to procreate, to bear progeny for this alien race. Also, one of the things that I touched on earlier was they're bringing back resources and stuff that they need on Earth. Because of human gluttony, we've pretty much used everything up. This movie was made during the gas shortage. America and a lot of European countries pissed off Saudi Arabia, pissed off your big Middle East countries. And up to that point, since the Second World War, we had let ourselves become dependent on these other countries. We wound up in a really tight place because we didn't have oil to produce gas for cars. We couldn't access natural gas for heating homes and stuff like that. And resources. It was shortly after that we started to do a lot more drilling and mining and stuff within America and the European countries. However, we kind of missed the boat on that. Is when we should have been investing more in renewables. And now we're getting ourselves basically in that situation again, or in the situation of running out because of our gluttonous nature. So there's that going on. One of the things that I covered in the last video was that by making Ripley the sole survivor, that was also, we were also in the midst of the women's movement. You had the ERA, which eventually failed. That was going on at that time. So it's, you have all this maelstrom of stuff going in the real world getting put into this movie and other movies like it. The Ripley, like I said, big feminist icon. I think Sigourney Weaver was in her early 30s, and that was early, like second, maybe third movie she ever made, and it's probably the one that has had the most impact on our culture. That's got to be something of a kind of a mind twist, because you know, your third or fourth movie you ever make as an actor is now all of a sudden this great thing, and everything you've done since then is kind of like, yeah, she did Galaxy Quest, she did Ghostbusters, yeah, but Alien, you know, Aliens, Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, the comedy. The comedy is not actually part of the title, that's just what I put on. It just goes. And something else I need to point out, that Lambert, the only other female character, is raped. You see, she's killed. All the other people are killed by the inner mouth. The xenomorph opens his mouth, and he's got the little point. He has a little thing that comes out and kills people. Kind of the penis mouth. However, Lambert, what is done with Lambert is you see the tail, like has a point on it, kind of like a circumcised penis, come up between her legs and basically cut her in half. More sexual exploitation, rape, the injustices that were going against women at that time, and a lot of them are still going on it now in 2024. So yeah, I could probably do 100 videos that are 20 hours long each on just the nuances. But we'll go ahead and call this good here. And the next, when I jump back into the aliens world, as you've noticed by now, I'm doing aliens, non-aliens, aliens, and probably tomorrow will be a non-alien video. So we're just kind of, I'm trying to keep, instead of having this dense, thick, very philosophical, very intriguing pack, I want to kind of lighten it up with other videos in between. So, as always, people, be a good human, be good to other humans. Peace.
Hey, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?